I would like to tell you a medicine story. The story of Jumping Mouse. There was once a mouse. He was a busy mouse, searching everywhere, touching his whiskers to the grass and looking. He was busy as all mice are, busy with mice things, examining and collecting and examining. But once in a while he would hear an odd sound. He would prick his ears and lift his head, squinting hard to see, his whiskers wriggling in the air, and he would wonder. One day he scurried up to a fellow mouse and asked him, "Do you hear a roaring in your ears, my brother?" "No, no," answered the other mouse, not lifting his busy nose from the ground. "I hear nothing. I am busy now. Talk to me later." He asked another mouse the same question, and the mouse looked at him strangely. "Are you foolish in the head?" "What sound?" he asked, and slipped into a hole in a fallen cottonwood tree. The little mouse shrugged his whiskers and busied himself collecting and examining, determined to forget the whole matter. But there was that roaring again. It was faint. It was very faint, but it was there. He decided to investigate the sound just a little. Leaving the other busy mice, he scurried a little way away and listened again. There it was. He was listening hard when suddenly someone said, "Hello!" "Hello, little brother," the voice said. A mouse almost jumped right out of his skin. He arched his back and tail and was about to run. "Hello!" again said the voice. "It is I, Brother Raccoon." And so it was. "What are you doing here all by yourself, little brother?" asked the raccoon. And the mouse blushed and put his nose almost to the ground. I hear a roaring in my ears, and I am investigating it," he answered timidly. "A roaring in your ears?" replied the raccoon, as he sat down with him. "What you hear, little brother, is the river." "What is a river?" Mouse asked curiously. "Walk with me and I will show you the river," Raccoon said. Little Mouse was terribly afraid, but he was determined to find out once and for all about the roaring. "I can return to my work," he thought, "after this thing is settled, and possibly this thing will aid me in all my busy examining and collecting. And my brothers all said it was nothing. I will show them. I will ask Raccoon to return with me, and I will have proof." "All right, Raccoon, my brother," said Mouse. "Lead on to the river. I will walk with you." Little Mouse walked with Raccoon. His heart was pounding in his breast, and Raccoon was taking him upon strange paths. Little Mouse smelled the scent of many things that had gone by his way. Many times he became so frightened he almost turned back. Finally, they came to the river. It was huge and breathtaking, deep and clear in places and murky in others. Little Mouse was unable to see across it because it was so great. It roared, it sang, cried, and thundered on its course. Little Mouse saw great and little pieces of the world carried along on its surface. "It is powerful," said Little Mouse, fumbling for words. "It is a great thing," answered the raccoon. "But here, let me introduce you to a friend." In a smoother, shallower place was a lily pad, bright and green. Sitting upon it was a frog, almost as green as the pad it sat on. The frog's white belly stood out clearly. "Hello, little brother," said the frog. "Welcome to the river." "I must leave you," cut in Raccoon, "but do not fear, little brother, for Frog will care for you now." And Raccoon left, looking along the river bank for food that he might eat, and Little Mouse approached the water. He looked into it. He saw a frightened mouse reflected there. "Who are you, Little Mouse?" asked the reflection. He looked up at Frog. "Are you not afraid of being so far out in the great river?" "No," answered the frog, "I am not afraid. I have been given from birth the gift to live both above and within the river. When Winterman comes and freezes the medicine, I cannot be seen, but all the while Thunderbird flies, I am here. To visit me, one must come when the world is green. I, my brother, am the keeper of the water." "Amazing," Little Mouse said at last, again fumbling for words. "Would you like to have some medicine power?" Frog asked. "Medicine power? Me?" asked Little Mouse. "Oh, yes, yes, if it is possible." "Then crouch as low as you can, and then jump as high as you are able. You will have your medicine," Frog said. Little Mouse did as he was instructed. He crouched as low as he could and jumped. And when he did, he saw far off the sacred mountains. Little Mouse could hardly believe his eyes, but there they were. But then he fell back to earth and he landed in the river. Little Mouse became so frightened and scrambled back to the bank. He was wet and frightened nearly to death. "You tricked me!" Little Mouse screamed at the frog. "Wait," said the frog. "You are not harmed. Do not let your fear and anger blind you." "What did you see?" Mouse stammered. "I saw the sacred mountains." "And you have a new name," Frog said. "It is Jumping Mouse." Thank you," Jumping Mouse said, and thanked him again. "I want to return to my people and tell them of this thing that has happened to me." Go then," Frog said. "Return to your people. It is easy to find them. Keep the sound of the Medicine River to the back of your head. Go opposite the sound and you will find your brother mice." Jumping Mouse returned to the world of the mice, but he found disappointment. No one would listen to him. And because he was wet and had no way of explaining it, as there had been no rain, many of the other mice were afraid of him. They believed he had been spat from the mouth of another animal that had tried to eat him, and they all knew that if he had not been food for the one who wanted him, then he must also be poison for them. Jumping Mouse lived again among his people, but he could not forget the vision of the sacred mountains. The memory burned in the mind and heart of Jumping Mouse, and one day he went to the edge of the place of mice and looked out onto the prairie. He looked up for eagles. The sky was full of many spots, each one an eagle. But he was determined to go to the sacred mountains. He gathered all of his courage and ran just as fast as he could onto the prairie. His little heart pounded with excitement and fear. He ran until he came to a stand of sage. He was resting and trying to catch his breath when he saw an old mouse. The patch of sage Old Mouse lived in was a haven for mice, There were seeds and many things to be busy with collecting and examining. "Hello," said Old Mouse. "Welcome." Jumping Mouse was amazed. Such a place, and such a mouse. "You are truly a great mouse," Jumping Mouse said with all the respect that he could find. "This is truly a wonderful place, and the eagles cannot see you here either," Jumping Mouse said. "Yes," said Old Mouse, "and one can see all the beings of the prairie here. The buffalo, antelope, rabbit and coyote. One can see them all from here and know their names." "That is marvelous," Jumping Mouse said. "Can you also see the river and the great mountains?" "Yes and no," Old Mouse said with conviction. "I know the great river, but I am afraid the great mountains are only a myth. Forget your passion to see them and stay here with me. There is everything you want here, and it is a good place to be." "How can he say such a thing?" thought Jumping Mouse. "The medicine of the sacred mountains is nothing one can forget." "Thank you very much for the meal you have shared with me, Old Mouse, and also for sharing your home," Jumping Mouse said. "But I must seek the mountains." "You are a foolish mouse to leave. There is danger on the prairie. Just look up there," Old Mouse said with even more conviction. "See all those spots? They are eagles and they will catch you." It was hard for Jumping Mouse to leave, but he gathered his determination and he ran hard again. The ground was rough, but he arched his tail and ran with all his might. He could feel the shadows of the spots as he ran. All of those spots. Finally, he ran into a stand of chokecherries. Jumping Mouse could hardly believe his eyes. It was cool there and very spacious. There was water, cherries and seeds to eat, grasses to gather for nests, holes to be explored, and many, many other busy things to do. And there were a great many things to gather. He was investigating his new domain when he heard very heavy breathing. He quickly investigated the sound and discovered its source. It was a great mound of hair with black horns. It was a great buffalo. Jumping Mouse could hardly believe the greatness of the being he saw lying there before him. He was so large that Jumping Mouse could have crawled into one of his great horns. Such a magnificent being, Jumping Mouse thought as he crept closer. "Hello, my brother," said the buffalo. "Thank you for visiting me." "Hello, great being," said Jumping Mouse. "Why are you lying there?" "I am sick and I am dying," the buffalo said, "and my medicine has told me that only the eye of a mouse can heal me. But, little brother, there is no such thing as a mouse." Jumping Mouse was shocked. "One of my eyes," he thought. "One of my tiny eyes?" He scurried back into the stand of chokecherries, but the breathing became harder and slower. "He will die," thought Jumping Mouse, "if I do not give him my eye. He is too great a being to let die." He went back to where the buffalo lay and spoke. "I am a mouse," he said with a shaky voice, "and you, my brother, are a great being. I cannot let you die. I have 2 eyes, so you may have one of them." The minute he said it, Jumping Mouse's eye flew out of his head, and the buffalo was made whole. The buffalo jumped to his feet, shaking Jumping Mouse's whole world. "Thank you, my little brother," said the buffalo. "I know of your quest for the sacred mountains and of your visit to the river. You have given me life so that I may give away to the people. I will be your brother forever. Run under my belly, and I will take you right to the foot of the sacred mountains. And you need not fear the spots. The eagles cannot see you while you run under me. All they will see will be the back of a buffalo. I am of the prairie, and I will fall on you if I try to go up the mountains." Little Mouse ran under the buffalo, secure and hidden from the spots, but with only one eye. It was very frightening. The great hooves shook the whole world each time they took a step. Finally, they came to a place, and Buffalo stopped. "This is where I must leave you, little brother," said the buffalo. "Thank you very much," said Jumping Mouse, "but you know it was very frightening, running under you with only one eye. I was constantly in fear of your great earth-shaking hooves." "Oh, your fear was for nothing," said Buffalo, "for my way of walking is the Sundance way, and I always know where my hooves will fall. I now must return to the prairie, my brother. You can always find me there." Jumping Mouse immediately began investigating his new surroundings. There were even more things here than in the other places, busier things, and an abundance of seeds and other things mice like to collect and examine. In his investigation of these things, suddenly he ran upon a grey wolf who was sitting there doing absolutely nothing. "Hello, Brother Wolf," Jumping Mouse said. The wolf's ears became alert and his eyes shone. "Wolf, wolf! Yes, that is what I am. I am a wolf." But then his mind dimmed, and it was not long before he sat quietly again, completely without memory as to who he was. Each time Jumping Mouse reminded him, he became excited with the news, but soon would forget again. Such a great being, thought Jumping Mouse, but he has no memory. Jumping Mouse went to the centre of his new place and was quiet. He listened for a very long time to the beating of his heart. Then suddenly he made up his mind. He scurried back to where the wolf sat and he spoke. "Brother Wolf," Jumping Mouse said. "Wolf, wolf," said the wolf. "Please, Brother Wolf," said Jumping Mouse, "please listen to me. I know what will heal you. It is one of my eyes, and I want to give it to you. You are a greater being than I. I am only a mouse. Please take it." When Jumping Mouse stopped speaking, his eye flew out of his head, and the wolf was made whole. Tears fell down the cheeks of the wolf, but his little brother could not see him, for now he was blind. "You are a great brother," said the wolf, "for now I have my memory. You are blind. I am the guide into the sacred mountains. I will take you there. There is a great medicine lake, the most beautiful lake in the world. All the world is reflected there. The people, all the lodges of the people and all the beings of the prairies and the skies. "Please take me there," Jumping Mouse said. The wolf guided him through the pines to the medicine lake. Jumping Mouse drank the water from the lake, and the wolf described the beauty to him. "I must leave you here," said Wolf, "for I must return so that I may guide others. But I will remain with you as long as you like." "Thank you, my brother," said Jumping Mouse, "but although I am frightened to be alone, I know you must go so that you may show others to this place." Jumping Mouse sat there, trembling in fear. It was no use running, for he was blind, and he knew an eagle would find him here. He felt a shadow on his back and heard the sound that eagles make. He braced himself for the shock, and the eagle hit. Jumping Mouse went to sleep. Then he woke up. The surprise of being alive was great, but now he could see. Everything was blurry, but the colours were beautiful. I can see, said Jumping Mouse over and over again. A blurry shape came toward him. Jumping Mouse squinted hard, but the shape remained a blur. "Hello, brother," a voice said. "Do you want some medicine?" "Some medicine? For me?" asked Jumping Mouse. "Yes, yes." "Then crouch as low as you can," the voice said, "and jump as high as you can." Jumping Mouse did as he was instructed. He crouched as low as he could and jumped. The wind caught him and carried him higher and higher. "Do not be afraid," the voice called to him. "Hang on to the wind and trust." Jumping Mouse did. He closed his eyes and hung on to the wind, and it carried him higher and higher. Jumping Mouse opened his eyes, and they were clear. And the higher he went, the clearer they became. Jumping Mouse saw his old friend upon a lily pad on the beautiful medicine lake. It was the frog. "Is that you, Frog?" he called. "Hello, Jumping Mouse," cried Frog. "You have a new name. You are Eagle now. Look at yourself." Jumping Mouse looked. Where his hind legs had been were sharp talons. Where his forelegs had been were wing feathers. And where his nose and whiskers had been was a great curved beak. He spread his wings wide, and he flew, and he flew, and he flew. The end. Or perhaps a new beginning. The story of Jumping Mouse.